On a recent morning in March, shots rang out in this ramshackle waterfront neighborhood in Buenaventura, Colombia. Police searched door to door for the source of the gunfire, but came up empty-handed. Gunfights are common here. Buenaventura, on Colombia's Pacific coast, is home to the country's largest port. Half of Colombia's commerce passes through here. It's also a key component in a new trade bloc known as the Pacific Alliance, which seeks to increase partnership between Latin American countries and Asia. But when Colombia hosted the alliance's signing ceremony, officials made sure it happened far from here. That's because despite Colombia's increasing peace and prosperity, Buenaventura is one of the country's most violent places, with routine shootings and a record number of disappearances. Rival drug gangs fight for control of the waterfront in a grisly war of terror, sometimes decapitating victims or dismembering them alive.
Many of us have fear of going out of our own neighborhood. Here in Buenaventura, there are invisible borders, and nobody crosses them. We've seen people who have crossed them, and they haven't returned.
Police and analysts say the violence stems from a flawed demobilization of a right-wing paramilitary group whose members agreed to lay down their arms a decade ago as part of a peace accord with then-President Álvaro Uribe. But many of the former paramilitaries, struggling to survive in desperately poor areas like Buenaventura, took up arms again for drug and extortion gangs in exchange for meager pay and food. As the Colombian government seeks to negotiate a new landmark peace accord that would demobilize another 30,000 fighters, members of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, analysts point to Buenaventura as a warning of what can happen when combatants are disbanded into society that lacks jobs to support them. The government recently sent in the army here to help try and control the violence. They've promised money for job training and infrastructure, and they are building a new jetty, hoping to alleviate the almost 50% unemployment rate.
The benefits of the Pacific Alliance will be that more investment, employers, and industry will come to Buenaventura to establish more commerce and more companies.
But for now, residents are just trying to survive.
It's difficult. I would even say that it's traumatic. You don't have hope. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know if tomorrow your neighbor is going to turn up dead, or your child, or your husband.
For the Wall Street Journal, this is Sara Schaefer Munoz in Buenaventura, Colombia.